This is Molly Hennessy Fisk with the Los Angeles Times. I'm out here at our Red Cross shelter that's been set up for victims of the flooding south of Baton Rouge in Ascension Parish here in Louisiana. I talked to some of the people who evacuated here, whose homes and rented apartments were flooded, about what they'd like to see happen in terms of temporary housing. I also talked to the Red Cross coordinators about how many people they've seen come through here. Hundreds during the past few days, people who've been flooded out of their homes, as well as people who can't reach their homes because they're still surrounded by water days after the storm. So can you tell me who you are?
I'm Robert Picard. I'm site manager for the Red Cross shelter at the Lamar Dixon's Center.
And we're here in Ascension Parish, which got some of the flooding in this disaster that we've seen in the Baton Rouge area. What have you been seeing over here in terms of the need from people?
Well, we have two different kinds of people in the shelters. We have one kind of person who can't get to their homes because roads are so covered with water, there's no way in, everything's inaccessible. We have other people whose homes couldn't be gotten to, whether the roads clear or not, because there was so much damage. The water is at such historic density. And particularly here in Ascension Parish, which is really a river basin where multiple rivers come off and come together into the bayous, that it's created historic high waters.
And still there's high water, even though it's days after.
It's days after, because water's coming down from the areas north, and because today we had rain again, and so there's just more coming. And so it's an ongoing cycle that we're having to deal with.
And have you heard anything about sort of future plans for people or temporary housing?
Well, all of that is currently under planning. We started with about 750 people. We're down to now about 500 because in many cases family members' houses opened up or the roads could get to their places. But they're now, FEMA is here, other agencies here, the state agencies are here, the Veterans Administration is here, and they'll be doing things of temporary housing, trying to get people out of the shelter because people don't want to stay there and we don't want them there.
So tell me your name.
My name's Christopher Kibido.
And you're volunteering here, but you also had lost the home you were staying in, is that right, in the flooding?
Yes, ma'am.
Over in Port Vincent. How have things been over here?
Great, really. You need for nothing. You can want a million things, you need for nothing.
And there's several hundred people staying over in the shelter behind you. There's a distribution center in the building next to it where they're giving out supplies. What would you like to see happen here in terms of the temporary housing for people?
I would like to, maybe see another trailer set up. I mean, I know it's kind of a taboo situation, but it would help out if something in that manner would go. Some kind of temporary housing that they can move in and out when these people get their lives straight.
And you said it was a little taboo. That's because there were some controversies around the trailers that got distributed by the government after Hurricane Katrina, right?
Absolutely.
But it sounds like you're saying you think it could be done in a better way?
Yes. I mean, they have these other trailers that are very passable. They're not camper trailers. They can move them easily in and out. I mean, I think that would be the way to go. And
is that what you're hearing from people that you see here, that they'd like to get out and be rebuilding?
Yes. Everybody's, people want to go home. If they had that in their yard, they'd be at home now. Some of them have to wait for their power and everything to come back on, but when their power comes back on, they want to be home.